Hey everybody, thanks for stopping in today. I'm the RV Wingman and this is my virtual campfire. And like all good campfires, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Now, today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I hope that you'll appreciate it. So I recently sat down with one of the most respected RV dealers in the entire country. Now, I'm not even going to mention the dealership name, not just yet, but let's just say this. This is a man that I've trusted for years, and I believe that the feeling is mutual. His dealership, well, it's not one of those big giant chains. It's not. It's nice. It's very nice, but I wouldn't say that it's over the top flashy or full of gimmicks, anything like that. Rather, it's built on honesty and real customer relationships and a mindset. Yes, a mindset that is pretty rare in today's RV world. While all RV dealers did well and made a lot of money from the lockdowns, remember that? The social distancing of COVID. My guest today, well, he approached the frenzy of people buying RVs back then a lot different than many other dealers who were selling RVs for, get this, MSRP. Yeah, and more. Remember that? I do. Well, those dealers, especially the ones who buried their customers in an RV loan that left way too many financially crushed, well, those dealers who buried them, they're struggling right now to stay afloat. But my guest, he is not only holding his own, but his business is actually pretty dang good. As you watch today's conversation, I'd love for you to comment down below. Who do you think the dealer is? Let me know. Yes, I'll be naming them at the end of today's video, and you can find out in the description down below. Remember, on this channel, I don't talk about just the bad stuff. I talk about the good stuff too, the honest, the real, the kind of stuff the RV industry needs more of. And those are some of America's most trusted RV dealers. So coming up, here's what an RV dealer with a with a conscience and some integrity sounds like. One last thing before we start, if you'd like to see more positive interviews with actual RVers and or folks in the RV industry, let me know in the comments down below. With the manic stock market and people on edge right now, you got to admit people are on edge a lot. It just struck me before we're doing this interview that this reminds me maybe of back in early 2020 when that thing called COVID came about and the whole world was panicking. And you and I talked and you kept on saying, relax now. It's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. And I said, yeah, but, and you said, you'll see. And it did turn out we got through COVID and things were okay. How do you see your dealership and this market? Because you got to admit, it's kind of a crazy market.
No, it's been rough. It's been rough since it's been kind of a COVID hangover since I would say May of 22.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most dealers are quite a bit down year after year. The market's down year after year. We've been overly blessed and we're not down. I chalk that up to a lot of things, but I do think this is kind of a big rough patch we're going to be going through. I think the short term is going to be painful, but again, and I almost want to cut back to that scene in 2020 when I said it was going to be okay. I think it's going to be fine. I think we're going to get through it, and I think the RV industry is going to thrive. People are going to keep camping, and as long as we keep doing what we do and taking care of the customer, we're going to be good.
And you said that taking care of the customer, that is one of the things that I think, and I know it because you've told me that you guys didn't lop people's financial heads off during COVID. That the reason you're doing okay is you've got a pretty good repeat business because you took care of them and you didn't cut them off financially and bury them. Talk with me about that, because that's part of your philosophy. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of people were so desperate that they were paying MSRP for RVs. We had people coming to our dealerships that they didn't know any better. They didn't know how the RV industry worked. They didn't know that MSRP was too much money. So yeah, we could have easily done that, but we didn't. I didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. I think there's dealers out there, there's dealers in my groups that are like, you're crazy, you left all that money on the table. But now, in hindsight, I think it's great because those people are able to come back to us. They're not buried. They're able to trade into something new. We've talked about this many times with the average RV owner owns his RV for about 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years. It's crazy. Most people don't think that. We have a lot of customers that come in and say, well, I'm going to own this for 5 to 10 years. And we know they're not. They're not going to own it 5 to 10 years. It's either too small. They think
they're going to.
Yeah, they think they are, but they eventually grow out of it, or sometimes it's rare, but sometimes it's too big and they want to downsize. So not burying the customer into those units, and it's paying off huge now for us because they are coming back to us. We do have a lot of other dealers that their customers are coming to us and we're unable to get them out of it. It's crazy.
That's terrible. I mean,
they're so upside down, they can't get out of them.
And that's bad for the industry. I mean, it's not just, it's when you have a pandemic of people who are financially ill because they were taken advantage of, it makes the future of the industry more challenging, and it makes you guys look even better.
Right.
I mean, you talk about other dealers. Rumor has it, it's not a rumor, some of your people have told me that your dealership actually does some prep work or PDI work for other dealers who aren't known for doing good prep work, and without throwing anybody under the bus. Tell me what you guys do.
It's crazy. We have some customers that literally bring us their trailers, and they bought it from a bigger chain store. I mean, we're not a small one with 9 locations, but one with multiple locations, and the trailers aren't ready. They didn't go through them. They didn't make ready, and they come to us. But the great news about that is we always retain that customer. We start taking care of them from that point forward. And when they come trading 2.5, 3 years, they're trading with us. And I think that's why we're up in a down market for sure. I mean, that's my biggest, testament to why we're up for sure. We take care of the customer after the sale. I don't want you to invest $10,000, $100,000, $500,000 and it not work out for you. So it doesn't matter what the issue is. We all know RVs have issues. They're all going down the road. They're twisting, they're turning 55, 65 miles an hour. They're hitting potholes. Things go wrong. But at the end of the day, we want to be the guys that really stand behind it. I mean, I'm on the phone constantly with customers. That's very rare in our industry. Just to let them know that, hey, we're here for you. We're going to take care of the problem, because the problems are never going to go away. They're human, I saw one of your buddies the other day say they're built by humans. They're not not perfect, And so, yeah.
But, you're a big sports guy, and I'm kind of a medium sports guy interest, but it seems like you have your 9 stores kind of like a team. It's not just a superstar salesperson, but you have superstars at every position in your store. And that's not just conjecture. That's not just talk. It's the truth. Your service people are fantastic. Your warranty people, I mean, it's not a secret what y'all do, but it is the slow road to being the success that you have become.
All of our people have been with us for years, and my biggest pet peeve is turnover. I hate turnover. You got these big stores that just go through people like water, and it's like, how can they really take care of the customer if they're brand new in a seat, whether it's service or parts or whatever, when you got so much sales is the biggest for me. It's like, I feel like you have a 95% better chance of talking to someone that knows what they're talking about when you come to our stores than these big block chain stores, that go through salesmen. And the biggest thing is they're changing their pay plans just every week or month or whatever it is. They're changing them, and we're not. So we take care of our salespeople. They have more knowledge. I definitely think they're better paid than most, which is fine, because in the end it pays off for us.
But don't you think, I mean, your reputation among the industry, among other dealers, is pretty stellar. And a lot of these salespeople that you say they come and go, you got a lot of people that would like to work for you, but like a good coach, you're like, I'm sorry, we can't you can't take everybody that wants to work for you.
We don't flood the floors, and which is crazy because every RV dealer out there has just tons and tons of RV salesmen. Yeah. And they're all fighting. They're fighting. Well, do I think we lose deals because we don't have 8 and maybe we have 4? I think we do. I really do. And I've had a lot of big dealers look at me and say, so let me get this straight. You have 4 salesmen and 10 techs, where we have 4 techs and 10 salesmen. And I'm like, yeah. And they just think I'm crazy. But at the end of the day, I just think it's a better philosophy all the way around for us. And again, we're up in a down market. So,
okay. That leads me, and I, we could go, you and I can talk forever, and we kind of, sometimes we do, but you're talking about salesmen. And I interviewed one of your salesmen at one of your stores recently about a situation that you guys run into, but I don't think it's just your stores, but I call it the hocus pocus. It's where a salesperson at a dealership gets somebody excited, and here's the price, but it's not really the price, but they don't find out about that until the very end. Can you walk through what that scenario is and how somebody might avoid it?
So we run into it literally every day. So
what happens? Walk me through it.
So the biggest thing is the internet, right? So these dealers, they want you to call them. They want you to come into the store. And so what they're doing is they're baiting you with a price that's not real. Let's just take, for example, fifth wheel XYZ, $29,995.
Yep.
It's not $29,995 because what happens is there's a little asterisk, and a lot of these stores don't even put the little asterisk. And there are so many fees that go on to the $29,995. There's no freight. To Texas, it's $3,000. So if you're in my neighborhood, it's $3,000. If you're up closer, it may be $2,000 or $1,500 or whatever the amount is. And then there's a long list of other things that they put on there that they're not telling you to get you in the door. So that becomes like $4,000-$5,000 more. So when we list the same trailer for $33,000 or $34,000, we don't get people in the door, or people that call us are like, why is theirs? And then when we explain it to them, they break it down. I just dealt with a customer the other day personally that said, Cannon, I really want to buy from you, but this store is $3,000 cheaper. And I literally said, go buy it. But when you sit down and you buy that and it's not $3,000 less, call me back, come to our store, we'll take care of you. Literally the next day, called me, said, I'm on the way to your store. We were ended up to be like $800, $1,000 cheaper than they were.
But isn't the process at these questionable dealers? I know that you don't like to say anything bad about anybody because that's your personality, and that's great. But isn't the scam, if you will, maybe that's the wrong word, but it's to bait them, get the buyer in, and then wear them out during the closing. And I'm going to talk about that too when people sign at your dealership. But when they say, well, we shouldn't have to pay that. Oh, everybody charges that. They charge that over there. And oh, really? And they just assume that you're going to charge that extra $3,000 or whatever it happens to be. And so they don't even realize, and they're paying way more than they should.
100%. It's crazy. So, and when you're there and you're excited and you're impulsive, you want the RV. Also, maybe the ego comes in a little bit because it's like you're there, you've gone through this process. You may have spent 2 or 3 hours on this RV going through it. You may like the salesman. And so there's so many factors that come into play when that happens that customer, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think they're signing, but they have kind of a bad taste in their mouth. It's like, man, I saw this thing for $29,995 and I'm walking out at, almost 10 grand higher after TT&L and their freight and their fees and all that. Maybe not 10 grand, but way higher.
But sometimes, let me tell you something. Sometimes it is 10 grand, Cannon.
Oh, man, you start talking about a high-end fifth wheel. for $100,000 that's listed at $999, and then all these other fees. Now the freight is still the same on that coach, but it's other stuff that they put in there. And you know, one of the things is that I advertise is that there's no hidden fees, period. So if I have a Montana 295 at X, that's what we're selling it to you for. I mean, of course, TT&L, everybody's got to pay that.
Right.
But you know, we just don't like the hidden fees. I mean, I hate to say this, but we have seriously sat around tables and considered, like, maybe to get more people in our door, we have to do this, you know, but it just doesn't taste right. It's like, you know, because I mean, are we losing deals because of that? I mean, if you go to an RV trader and you see my coach for $3 or $4 grand more, why are you even calling us? So,
but don't you think people are getting wise to this? People are getting wise to this.
I think so.
I
think so, and I hope so, and I hope, you know, I hope, obviously, and we're not the only ones. I mean, there's other very honest dealers that don't do that out there.
Right.
There's great dealers everywhere, so we're not the only ones. But I think so. I think it's getting out there. It's catching on. People are getting wiser. They're definitely getting wiser on their second purchase.
Oh yeah, after that first one.
That's where we come in. We love it. So you know, I can make a good living off of these dealers that are doing it to people.
As long as they don't financially destroy them and they're able to trade out. I make a lot of phone calls, and so, you know, you're one of the, you know, few dealers, handful of dealers that I call America's most trusted dealers. One common thing that your customers tell me, I've never told you this before, is how easy it is and how painless it is when they actually buy their RV. Because the most painful part for many people is in that F&I office. It's the signing of the hours and hours, and they feel just so beat up and exhausted at other dealerships. Everybody has told me it is simple. It's straightforward. They offer some things. If we say no, they go, okay. And they just go on and, okay, here's the deal. And I think that that's part of your philosophy. I mean, it has to be, because every single person tells me the same story.
It literally stems back from me selling cars when I was 19 years old. I mean, you know, my dad said, get a job. You need to get in sales. Go sell cars. And just the pain that the customers would go through, it just makes me uneasy. So our whole goal was to make it simple and enjoyable. That's the biggest thing. We want to offer a great product with great value, but make it simple. Like, we don't want it to be painful. You shouldn't want to, you know, make a person uncomfortable when they're making a purchase to go make family memories that'll last a lifetime. It should be fun. It should be part of the fun. I think buying the RV should be as fun as camping in it. And I think that's, you know, I give a lot of our success to that, to that point. Exactly.
Another thing that's pretty common across the board when I talk to your customers is that when they pick up their RV, it's been gone through. It's not, yeah, we did a PDI, and they don't even know. And some of these dealerships don't check anything. And, you know, going back to earlier, what you said is, you know, you'll take somebody's brand new RV that things don't work because the other dealer didn't do it. You fix it for them. When somebody rolls out of one of your dealerships, things are working. Now, sometimes they may go, you know, a little.
I was just going to say they're not perfect, because I just got off the phone with the dude.
They never will be perfect, but at least
they're not. But
what do you do, Cannon, when a unit comes in, the occasional unit comes in, and the people that do your make ready and getting everything done, they go, oh, this is not good. You know, I mean, you don't put lipstick on a pig and try to get it out the door. Do you ever have to contact the manufacturer? Walk me through that, because I think some dealerships literally just say, well, you know what, somebody will buy the thing.
So no, we go through them the minute they get there. So before they're on the line, we go through the coach. We find out what's wrong with it, from front to back. We go through it extensively. Do we miss things? Of course. Do things change when they're moving around the lot, twisting and turning, slides are going in and out? For sure. But I think, we do go through them extensively. And then once they hit the line, we sell them. And then we go through them again. We do a whole, we'll do a 4 hour to 5 hours on a travel trailers and six to seven on a fifth wheel and maybe 8 or 9 on a motorhome. And we go through that meticulously. Wow. I mean, but do we miss things? I mean, I just sold an awesome fifth wheel to a customer that wrote us up and gave us a great review. And he's like, man, I got here and I got this little issue. And I'm like, listen, bring it back to us. We will take care of it. That's what we do. We're not, I feel bad because it was a lot of money and it does have an issue and they do slip through the cracks. We're not perfect, but the good news is I got off the phone with him. He's happy. He's going to bring it back to us. He's on a camping trip. We'll get it sewed up perfectly. And hopefully the next camping trip's perfect. So it doesn't always go perfect, but for the most part, we do a pretty good job. We also have I talk about this all the time, but I'm very particular about the brands we sell. So I see a lot of comments on here all the time, like, well, what is he talking about when I talk about brands? Our brands are like top shelf. So they're all built very well. They all have a lot of the same people on the lines for years and years and years. And that's important. So if you're building an XYZ trailer and you've had the same people on the same line, they're doing the same thing for 10, 12 years. They're going to get it right. When you got a new brand, something going down the road that's created for XYZ dealer or whatever, they can struggle. I'm not dealing with any of those brands at all. So our brands are very well thought of.
But when you do get one that's, got a bad whatever it's got, you don't just try to pass it along, do you? I mean, what's your philosophy there? I mean, it's got to be a difficult call to call the manufacturer, say something's wrong with a slide out.
So no, most of those I just try to sell to Alan. So I tell my people, I'm like, get Alan on the phone.
Get him to come buy it.
Have Alan. Alan needs to see this so he can experience what's really happening.
Great one.
Okay. We have issues. We have issues with new units that come in, and we're on the phone with the OEs. And when I talk about the brands, I'm also talking about my great partnerships of years and years and years of the OEs backing us up.
Yeah,
we have such great partnerships with the Gettards and Martins and Ken and Jayco. Everybody's kind of got our back. So it's not an issue. It happens. They know it happens. And to be honest with you, I never even get to those guys. I mean, they know that if we're calling it serious, and their people handle us all the time. Not a big deal.
Okay, we're going to wrap this thing up in a minute, but before we do, and you were kind of teasing with me, so I'm going to sort of tease with you, but I mean this with all my heart, is that one of the things that I see that separates your dealership from so many others is your personal philosophy, the way you live your life. And I'm going to give an example that happened just a few minutes before we started recording. It was something so simple that we were not able to connect. I'm just saying we were not able to connect our cameras. And you went, oh, you dummy. When you figured it out, you went, oh, what a fool. Most people don't talk like that about themselves, to themselves. They go, oh, well, that's the problem. You own things. And I'm saying that because when there's a problem with one of your customers, that's the reason you're on the phone, is you own it. You're not trying to be invisible and take off on a golf vacation and hope the problem goes away. And you're not asking for new problems. But if it's a real problem, your stores own it, and you really do want to help people. And I just find that admirable. I truly do. And all the kidding aside that you and I do, I think that most of the big dealerships don't have that personal thing. What is that word? I'm being facetious here. It's called a conscience, and you guys do.
Yeah, I feel like we do. So we're kind of family. They're family owned, and we take a lot of pride in what we do. And I make those stupid mistakes that I made a few minutes ago every day, all day long.
But you know what?
I hear the wife moving around. I want to get her in here so she can be like, okay, where do we start?
How long is this video going to be, right?
Your people don't have time. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But, you know, everybody can, and we all make those mistakes. Sometimes we overlook things, and we're not perfect. And to pretend that nothing happened, got any problem, we're going to make it right. Well, that's talk is cheap. It's the year after year after year. You are the longest relationship that I have ever had with a dealer selling new RVs every single year. It is consistent. You're trying to be the best you can be. You don't want to be number one in the market, although that would be nice. You just want to be the best that you can be, and your team is awesome. You know, and going back to the sports metaphor, each one of your store leaders is really kind of a coach of their team.
Yeah, they're literally the Bill Belichicks. Like all 9 of them are just fantastic. They've been in the business 20, 25, 30. I mean, one of them's been in there. Man, I don't want to mention that. He'll see this and be like, would you quit talking about how old I'm old? We're all old. We're all getting old. So,
yeah, but it's still a great industry to be in, isn't it? And in spite of what the manic stock market might be, or in spite of whatever the black swan event will probably happen someday, we don't know what it might be. People will still want to connect with their families. They'll still want to be in an RV and go to campgrounds and escape. Don't you think?
It's never going away. It's only going to get better. It's going to thrive. The RVs are getting better. These always are. I mean, it's amazing what they come out with every year and how much tighter they get and how much better they get and the value. All that's awesome. So yeah, it's just going to keep going up and up. We've definitely had a lull since COVID, and it's not been great. It's sustainable, but it's going to get better for sure.
And there's some dealers that are probably not going to be around in the future, sadly, but those are some of the ones that I think that may have taken too big of a bite of the apple, taken too much advantage of people that just didn't know any better, that paid MSRP and above during all that crazy pandemic.
You know, I agree. Let's just put it at that. I agree. You know,
I know you don't want to go.
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in the world, and you see things, and you know, it doesn't ever kind of hit them back in the face, but you know, you never know.
It's karma.
We're going to keep doing the right thing. You know, we don't ever want to be the biggest dealer. We don't want to sell the most. We like doing what we're doing. We're going to stay in our lane. We're going to sell what we sell. We're going to take care of the customer. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll sell more, and I'm continuing to sell more every year because of this whole conversation. Yeah. But you know, I'm not going to be the biggest.
And now you know why I have so much respect for this man and his dealership. He's not just running a business. He's building a reputation, a solid reputation built on taking care of people, even when it's not always the easiest thing or the most profitable thing to do. I told you at the beginning of today's video, I'd give you the name of the dealership, but if you guessed RV Station, you were right. And if you're looking for a great place to start your RV search, for an honest place to buy your next RV, RV Station has got 9 locations, all of them in Texas, except one is just over the border in Oklahoma. They are not just another RV dealer. As I say, they're one of America's most trusted RV dealers. Let me know down in the comments what stood out to you from today's visit. So have you found a great RV dealer like this one? Do you have a great RV dealer? Or have you ever dealt with a dealer that left you kind of feeling taken advantage of? Tell me about it down below. Now, if you found today's video to be helpful or inspiring maybe, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks much for watching. Until next time, I'm the RV Wingman, reminding you, be safe, have fun, play nice, and don't leave your good manners at home.